So today I'm here with WPC 244 Strachan, who has just spent almost a year in China on a course. I want to start off by saying congratulations on your accomplishments.
Thank you.
And today, we're going to be diving into what she learned, the experience, what the experience was like, and how it shaped both her personally and professionally. You've been in China for almost a year now. What was going through your mind when you first decided to take the leap and go there?
I am going to be very honest. Before going there, I was more focused on the job I was doing at the time. Then it transitioned into a phone call. Yes, and it's like, we have this opportunity, Ms. Strachan, your name came up because of, your certifications and so forth. So I heard it and I was like, sure, no problem.
And
that's how it started. Next day, I was on a flight.
Wow.
Well, not really literally next day,
Okay.
but before you know it, I was on a flight to China on this study opportunity. So it came as a surprise for me. And there's a little take I got for that, and if I can encourage others, do what you love. I took the initiative prior to joining the RGPF to become a certified diver because I love the ocean, and it just happened that these are one of the things I listed, and I attached my credentials and everything, and it turned out to be beneficial for me because look, I got the opportunity to go on a course in China for that same, area exactly.
So what was the name of the course?
So I was a part of the rescue and salvage major. So basically that entails everything in relation to maritime operations when it comes to rescuing, whether it's the survivors and salvaging the vessel. That vessel range, airplanes, submarines. In relation to Grenada's waters, it will be vessels, It's my home away from home, and I thank, the members and staff of FDG and for being so accommodative.
What was the first thing that struck you about the culture, the daily life? Because you mentioned there were a lot of other different countries, a lot of other people there, and because you're in China, what was the difference compared to Grenada?
The difference is there is difference. However, the difference is similar to back home. Mm-hmm. And I was getting to that, right? You might be surprised that the personality that exists in your environment, it's the same elsewhere. I've heard, my fear of what China is through other person's perspective. But when I visited there for myself, the people are similar to Grenadians. You know how your grandparents would have some kind of story behind this particular, set they have in their house, or they have some sentimental value for It's the same with Chinese. They have a saying for everything. Mm-hmm. Tell me when I'm starting to sound familiar, okay? They have a saying for everything. Everything has a sentimental value. Everything has a story. Uh-huh. And most of the time it's a fairy tale. During the Mid-Autumn Festival, there's a festival called the Mid-Autumn Festival, right? Mm-hmm. The tradition behind that is to create something they call mooncakes, right? So there is a fairy tale story, in my opinion, a fairy tale story that the Chinese call it a legendary story. That, two lovers, basically to sum it up, two lovers, they got, torn apart because some thieves tried to steal an elixir. The husband of the couple, He was this well-known, if I can say he was this well-known warrior. So he left his wife home one day after finding this powerful elixir, and thieves came basically because word got out about it to steal it. And knowing the value of this elixir, she drank it, and it gave her eternal life. So he, in one sense, he's upset, but he understood why she did what she did. Because if such power fall into the hands of evil people, you know, there's endless thoughts you can give what they will do with it. You know, so she drank that. And of course she's going to outlive him because she's now given eternal life.
Exactly.
So what happened is that she prayed to the universe and her soul was taken up into the moon. So the moon, the full moon, now is a representation of her. Because it is not a fixed date, it's more of a period.
Okay.
So they would have that celebration, and family-oriented gathering will tell this story, this legendary story. It brought back memories of my time in the kitchen with my mom. My mom was someone who loved the kitchen. That's why I said it's different in terms of the story that's behind the Chinese version, but it's similar because it reminded me of my mom's baking.
That's the one you would say that stuck with you most?
Yes, definitely.
Right, so you mentioned like adapting to the work or the course of weather, adapting to how they did the training and everything. Could you tell me what it looked like, how it looked while you were doing that training?
Yes, for sure it was a structured one. You have to be awake by a certain time, ensure that you're punctual for all classes. The training was both theoretical as well as practical. So we had our daily schedules, plus we have our dormitory maintenance, and we have different things. But we're officers, so leeway was given, you know, as time progresses. But basically, it was structured, and we just needed to be punctual, and we needed to have energy to take on the task. The practicals part of our schedule was the challenge for us because it tested our will every single day. Because we swim, we have we have swimming classes. After the class, we have a test. You have to do, I think it's 400 meters. You have to swim by a certain time. But they're always ready to work with you. That same swimming pool is available on weekends. So in your free time, you can practice. We also have the diving aspect of it. You know, what I love about the course, they prioritize safety. So exactly. So they started off in the confined areas. So in the dive pools or in the swimming pool to teach us the technical stuff. How to use the equipment, to reintroduce some knowledge. For some it will be new, for others it's just a matter of adapting. But what I can say is overall the course was structured, and even if it challenged us physically, when it comes to the practical, I love the fact that there was always somebody to keep us accountable, whether it's our team leader, our course leader, our class leader. There's somebody in a leadership position to say, hey guys, we need to be on time. There was that camaraderie, so
While working alongside the different colleagues there, did you notice any differences in how they collaborate and work together compared to say in Grenada or somewhere else?
Yes, there were some differences as well as similarities. More so, there were more similarities than differences. Because, as I mentioned before, we're all military personnel. Whatever we brand ourselves to be, I believe our training across the globe is to make sure that you have the right mindset first. They put in a little bit of psychology in there to keep you active enough and to keep you cognizant. And then they push your physical boundaries and stuff like that. What I've noticed is that if I was to take this training again, I would go with someone, you know, because that's what I observe. Most country, they came in pairs. So because you can be down on your personal moral. Like you might need somebody that one day that even if we're speaking English, we're not of the same understanding.
Okay. I think I understand where it is.
Exactly.
It's
So
like having a childhood friend that you grew up with, and then you go somewhere with them. You could talk to that person like you know them for a long time versus a brand new stranger, in a sense that you have to now build that bond with.
Exactly. And that's a good analogy. That's a great analogy. And of course, once you have that partner with you, it keeps you accountable throughout, and you don't feel bad if you're slipping, which you would. You're there for 10 months. I've been there for 10 months, and trust me, every single day, you know, it was me and God, and then He sent other people. You know, I did make friends. Shout out to my FTG family. I can't stop saying this. These all the my colleagues on the course are amazing personalities. It doesn't matter how diverse, okay, they're amazing. Bonjour to everybody in Cameroon, all the Francophones. Okay, all the Francophones, bonjour. Yes, I pick up on a little French, I pick up on a little Chinese, ni hao to everybody. Yes, it was beautiful, you know, and that is my take. Just, you have to have that partner, you know, just to keep going right through. But I made it. Thank you.
Good. So you met all the friends there, learn out the Chinese, the little French.
Yeah.
So did experiencing all those cultures and languages and stuff, would you say it changed your view or your background or anything, or how you approach work? Or there isn't much difference in the things you would normally do compared to when you were there?
Well, I would say that it will give me, you know, all of my experience added merit to my approach to work or to anything. Like I've been around people that can make me laugh. You know, the memories of them can make me cheerful. You know, can cheer me up. So I would say definitely there is something our encounter would have left within me. For me, I was reserved, so I didn't have to say anything. I just walked in the room, and you can feel the energy. Like, you can feel that we're ready to work. We had our classroom commandants, and when they stood up to give, you know, to speak or to give directions, you move, like your spirit will move before your body, because the conversation of readiness, it's in their tone, it's in the deportment, it's in everything. So when this person speaks, you just move. You know, it's like, yeah, let's go.
So they had like good leadership qualities.
Exactly.
They would like to find
excellent leadership qualities. Military personnel, the way they command the audience when they're speaking or when they're addressing them, you feel a certain level of rise within you. I'm not sure if you listen to our commissioner speeches and, you know, our higher body speeches. Something about their conversation makes you just, you want to
motivate you, make you want to achieve more.
Exactly. And it was just appreciation. And of course, I'm kudos to these guys for the little things that they taught me, at the dining table, breakfast, our little breaks between classes, even during class, our exercising period, like all the stuff that they did, they taught me, and I hope in turn I taught them something too.
So you also shared marine-based knowledge while you were there.
Mm-hmm.
What was it like teaching or discussing that with people who may have had a very different relationship to the ocean? Or was everyone there, would you say, knowing of how marine-based stuff is done?
Yes, our conversation was neutral in terms of knowledge, because we all came from the ocean, different navies or Coast Guard. We all came with maritime knowledge. The difference in our conversation was questioned when we bring up different protocols, practices, how you would execute this rescue strategy, the equipments we use for this, that would vary from nation to nation, and Grenada is a small island. Kid you not, we're well known, but there's some people they need to know. So when I was telling them about Grenada and, giving them a little bit of how things work, they had a lot of questions, and they also gave suggestions as well. And it was wonderful. We were just exchanging knowledge, sitting, talking about little different aspects. Yeah.
So looking back, what would you say was the most challenging part of your time? And what was your proudest achievement?
Good question. My most challenging part there was me experiencing that alone during that time period. Mm-hmm. That was a challenge. I would have also appreciated the opportunity to do it alongside another Grenadian. Right. Let's cheer for two. Here. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, because I believe anybody in my position can do it. Anybody. It was literally like that. At the same time, it feels better doing it in pairs, and that's just my take on that. That was my challenge. There's things that I can take away from that course is endless. It will never stop. Even now, I still keep in contact with the guys there, and we're still sharing ideas, we're still talking.
So if someone was on the fence of seizing an opportunity like that, what would you tell them?
Go for it. Don't make anything stop you. There is nothing that can stop you other than you. Because where should I start? Whether it's your good karma blessing you today with a surprise opportunity and be like, you've been good here. Or you've been given the knowledge of what is required. Work towards it. I can also let you, whoever it is, know that when you work in silence, the manifestation is things, or it will be something that everyone will talk about. I'm telling you, it's like walking in the room with some good cologne on. Everybody will notice that. And don't forget to congratulate yourself on your little wins. Not everybody that will be in the media will be in the blogs, but sometimes it's just waking up to do your job better today. Do it. That's a win. Take your wins, celebrate your little wins, and then one day your story's gonna manifest, and then let's see your reaction. This is my reaction, but let's see your reaction. It could happen to anybody.
So you're saying is go for it.
Go for it. I signed off on that. Go for it. Bottom line.
Now that you've had this experience, how has it shaped your goals for the future? And how do you think this training would enhance the policing capabilities in Grenada? Or in general, if you plan to.
That's a good question again. My goals has always been shaped. This is just my good karma saying here's a treat, so to speak. And when it comes to my policing career going forward, any opportunity, and I use the word disperse because I would love to have the opportunity to help, teach, mentor, like whatever. With the knowledge that I have the capability to do either one of this. Because I didn't just learn from the classroom. I also learned from my classmates. There are sometimes my classmates know more than my instructors, you know? And they were pretty chilled about it. They were humble. They just sit back and they let the class go on. And then after class, you see them and the instructor, they're going back and forth in a conversation. And then next day lecture, the instructor is saying, you know, let's make adjustment to this statement. Of course, you know, and I am grateful for the opportunity, so my perspective is positive. I learned so much. There's some of my course mates that was in higher ranking position than the instructor, but they were humble enough to listen, to receive the instructions. They were, you know, they corrected politely. You know, there was a good diplomacy around, you know, the room. So I would take all of this and teach it, or I would mentor. If I'm seeing somebody, you know, if I'm put in a mentoring position, you know, these are things. It's not just about rescue and salvage. It's about your deportment in the classroom and in the workplace. You know, how we speak to each other. So it's not just about going on these courses and having knowledge and being a know-it-all. It's about what else do you learn? How is your morals after that course? What new ethics have you now, added to your list of ethics? Things like that. You know, are you a leader? Where are you in terms of mentality in the workplace? And how could you be better at your position? So things like all of these things, I look at the course holistically and I realize that there's a lot of things that I can add to my value. So in any way that I see that I could also give that to someone else, I'll take the opportunity because there's a lot that was learned. Yeah, that's why I say go for it.
More or less, go for it.
Go for it. Yeah.
And achieve a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So that's all questions I have for you today.
Oh, thank you.
You did very well. I learned a lot myself. And I hope the viewers will learn something as well and go for it.
Yeah, of course. I hope that, and everybody that is listening, they just listen intently, listen to the words that is being said, and hopefully you can take something from it, you can learn, and don't forget to go for it.